Okay, let's start right into the middle of a new paint job. As you can see, I've currently painted the frame and the parts in neon green, and this video will be a kind of vlog style. Not a complete how-to, but I like to show you also some of the interesting stuff. This is the Scott Spark RC, and I painted the complete frame in this neon green. Here at the shop with the neon lights it appears a kind of bluish, but I will show you later on some of the pics from the studio where you can see that this is a badass neon green. And the reason why I've painted the frame in this green is I have to match the design to the fork and the neon green Fox logo, and I think the color matches very well. But that's not the most interesting part of this video. The most interesting parts are hundreds of little squares. Maybe you can see them on the seed stays I started yesterday. And these squares will be the main theme of the new paint job. And to create the squares, I made some stencils with these little squares. Maybe you can see them. But let's talk about the new design, and let's check out the new design, and I will show you where I will paint on these little squares and how I created them. That is the new design of the Scott Spark RC. It's a combination of gloss at the rear end and also flat areas on the front end. And here you can see the kind of camouflage design with these little squares. I have to paint them on the front end and also on the seat stays. I started yesterday with the first green, and today I have to add some more green elements, also the black ones. And I like to show you also how I did these squares and the stencils. I started with hundreds of little squares and filled them with color, but not completely. I left some uncolored and did a lot of variations. And these two are for the seat stays, these are for the front end, and the variation of the colored and uncolored parts create these camouflage effect. Okay, let's cut out some more of these stencils and let's paint the other parts of the rear end, the other green effects and also the black and my logo on the seat stays. During the last hours I produced a lot of masking tape chips and applied some more layers of the green, and it looks a little bit like Minecraft, a green Minecraft structure. And tomorrow I will apply also the black area, and when the rear end is ready I can start with the frame. It's a new day and I started to wet sand the frame to prepare it for the next layers of color and the design, the logo typing and also the cube design in the black areas. And what I also did, I masked my cubes on the rear end and primered the chain stays with a 1K black primer. Before you had seen a gray primer, this was a 2K primer, and this one is a 1K black primer I use such a spray can. And that's normal primer, you can use it in between to save some color or to change the color before you spray the base coat, the black base coat, and also to smooth the surface. What I do now is I use such a non-woven web and I sand the black primer. And after I've sanded these areas, I can start to spray on the black base coat. I decided to spray the black with my little spray gun, not with the airbrush, so I changed to the paint booth. And now I will apply the black on the primed areas. Then I will change back to the table and to my airbrush equipment and spray some more black cubes on the seat stays. There's something different. I'm in a different room, and as mentioned, I'm building a new paint shop, and I finished one of my new paint rooms with some brand new air supply and some nice workbenches in the background, and all these are things I need for a good custom paint shop. Right behind me in a different room there's my self-made paint booth for the bigger paint shops and also for the clear coating. And maybe I do another video where I show you also my paint booth. But currently I have to paint my logos on the seat stays in black. And when I finished the logos I can start masking the frame to spray some Scott logos on the frame and also the box design from the seat stays. And here it comes, the sprayed ETOE logo. I cutted the down tube logos with the sign maker, 4 logos and double Scott logo for the upper section and 2 Scott logos for the sides and the bottom section of the frame. I have to mask also the head tube logo and all the green areas before I will spray the frame black and add a lot more of these squares. But before I can start spraying, I have to mask the frame, and what I need are a pair of scissors, cutting knife and also a heat gun. The heat gun is necessary when you have curves on the frame. You can heat the foil a little bit and it's easy to apply it with the heat gun. Let's start with the top section. It's not so interesting how I stick these logos on the frame. So I will only do this one in front of the camera, and I will come back to you when the complete frame is masked. Because masking takes some time, sometimes an hour or an hour and a half. And you can use the heat gun to form the foil over the little rivets. And that's it. First logo is transferred to the frame. These are all parts of the masking, parts of the head tube mask. This is a part of the seat tube mask. And I cut it also some stripes I need for the masking. And when all these stripes are applied, I can start to spray the black. What I'm doing is I'm spraying some black 1K primer over the green areas that will be black, and the primer saves me a lot of money because I don't need so much expensive black, and it's also very durable, and it's a good idea to use the primer if you have a light color and you need a darker one, or you have a dark color and you need a light color. In this case I use the black one if I have a black frame and I need to do such a light green or white. I will use a white primer. And boom, here we are. Let's add some deep black to the frame. It's Christmas time. I can remove all the masking after I bake the black. And let's check out if all went well. And when I have removed all the masks, I have to cut out a lot more of these squares, and I have to add also some of the squares to the black base coat. Check out this nice color combination, my neon green with the black. And when I've added all the logo typing and the squares, I have to do a flat and gloss finish, but I will show you later on how I'll do the finish. I'm back from the paint booth, and as you can see, I marked and masked some areas on the frame, and these are the areas which will be not covered with the cube elements. And what I will do now is I will spray on another layer of black, but not a solid black. I mixed a nice pearl black. It's not the black pearl from the Pirates of the Caribbean, but a nice color, a black with pearl elements in it, and these sparkle very nice in the sunlight. And I will spray on only a very thin layer, so I decided to use my little airbrush. And now I start to spray on the pearl black. I have to remove hundreds of little squares, and I need approx 10 of these sheets. And when all these sheets are ready, I can apply them on the frame, and that's what I'm doing during the next hours. What I'm spraying on the frame is a nice charcoal gray. I have masked all the squares on the frame, so come a bit closer so you can see all the masking and the details of the masking. Here you can see all the squares I added to the frame, and when I remove these squares, the pearl black appears underneath, and I get a mix of the charcoal gray and the pearl black with the square pattern, a kind of Minecraft design. It took me hours to cut out and to apply these squares to the frame, and now I need another hour or two to remove all these little squares. I have to remove hundreds of these little chips, and when all the masking is removed, I can start to finish the frame with a combination of gloss and a flat finish. But at first I have to remove all these chips. I'm back from the paint booth and added some clear coat to the frame, and the frame's nearly done, but there's one step left to do because we need a two-component finish that contains glossy and also flat areas. So I have to remask the frame again, all the glossy areas, prepare it, and then I can apply the flat finish, the last step, before I can assemble the frame. So let's start to remask the frame again with some masking tape. Here we are, fresh from the booth. The flat finish is applied, and the only thing left is to remove all my masking, and I'm ready with my paint job. The paint job took me more than a week. It was a lot of work, and now it's Christmas time. I will use my cutting knife to remove the masking. And when I have removed all this masking tape, I can assemble the frame, and I will show you a turnaround in the photo studio of the complete frame with all parts. And if you want to know more about custom painting, check out also my other videos. I will show you some pictures of the photo studio and of the assembled frame. And thanks for watching, and goodbye.